Court records reveal Marshella Chidester, now convicted of double homicide for the deaths of 8-year-old Alana and 4-year-old Zane Phillips after crashing into the Swan Boat Club during a birthday party in Monroe County, Michigan, has fired her attorney, Bill Colovos, only weeks before her May 15 sentencing. On April 4, 2025, embattled defense attorney Bill Colovos filed a motion to withdraw, requesting an order be entered for substitute counsel with the 38th Circuit Court. Under Michigan law as outlined in the Michigan Rules for Professional Conduct, an attorney may withdraw from a criminal case for good cause that places important demands on the attorney and the client. That is, if it will not materially harm the client, such as potentially influence the outcome of the case, or if the client's actions make continuing the representation difficult or unethical. Under MRPC 1.16b, an attorney must notify the client without placing undue influence on the client, must obtain court approval, and must inform the client of the requirement for court approval to withdraw. An attorney may also withdraw if the client insists on a course of action that is objectionable, irresponsible, fraudulent, or illegal, if the client substantially fails to fulfill an obligation to the attorney with reasonable warning, or if the representation causes undue financial hardship. An attorney should act with reasonable diligence and promptness in representing a client, under Professional Conduct Rule 1.3. Attorneys cannot withdraw, however, based on a client's refusal to accept a plea deal. In sum, the withdrawal must minimize harm to the client, withdrawal motions must be filed in a timely manner, and representation must continue until relieved by the court. Unless the attorney-client relationship is terminated as provided in Rule 1.16, a lawyer should carry through to the conclusion of all matters undertaken for a client. However, according to reports, a change in legal representation was made, replacing attorney Colovos without his knowledge. In a recent article, attorney Colovos states that he only became aware of his replacement during a recent visit to Monroe County Jail for a pre-sentencing investigation where he intended to discuss sentencing guidelines and other pertinent matters before Chidester is sentenced next month. Attorney Colovos states that he learned from a jail employee that he should be denied access to speak to Mrs. Chidester as instructed by her husband because a new attorney had been retained. Colovos reported that he received a substitution form from the new attorney later the same day, which he immediately signed, but later learned the form had not been submitted to the court for approval. On April 4, attorney Colovos filed a motion to withdraw from the case based on a breakdown in communication with his client. A motion hearing was scheduled for the motion to be heard on April 18, 2025 at 10 a.m. before Judge Daniel White, who presided over the criminal trial where a jury found Marshella Chidester guilty on March 6, 2025 of 2 counts of first-degree homicide, 2 counts of OWI causing death, and 5 counts of OWI causing injury. The April 18 hearing was subsequently cancelled, but the motion was approved by Judge White and an order was entered for new counsel reflected in court documents as substitute of attorney. Defense counsel is now listed as attorney James Warren Amberg of Amberg & Amberg, PLLC, located in Royal Oak, MI. The Amberg & Amberg law firm is touted as expert criminal defense attorneys, specializing in federal cases including racketeering, sex and drug crimes, capital crimes, gun charges, white-collar crimes, and healthcare fraud. Marshella Chidester faces life in prison. She will be sentenced on May 15, 2025.